Yay! I think that we are officially live. Yay, 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 I'm so excited. So, just to make sure that we are all good and that you can see me, let me know. Post in the chat. There should be a chat box to your right side. And if you're watching it on the phone, I don't know, maybe it's below, but there should be a chat box here on the live. And if you can see me, if you can hear me, let me know that you are here. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you can see all the things. Welcome to this live Q&A video. This is one of those things where I mentioned it in one of my previous videos on this channel before, where I like to take, audience member questions and answer them and be able to bring you guidance in relation to that specific question. And so this is a question that came through from an audience member here on YouTube a couple months ago, actually. And it was a really, really beautiful question. I'm going to share it in just a few moments. I'm going to share what the question was. But it related to calling in your soul life partner and really being able to connect with someone on that deeper level, especially as it relates to us on our journey and relating to us on our spiritual path, right? And because this is a really crazy time that we live in, and it's also our spiritual journey, our spiritual experiences is really intense, and there's a lot that is involved in it, and it's really important to be able to when it comes to our relationships with other people and that kind of thing, who we're connected to in when it specifically relates to your soul life partner, to be able to have that open connection and communication and acceptance, right? And so I'm going to read to you the specific question, but basically it was asking about how do you call in your soul life partner? How do you call in the person who fully accepts you for who you are, for your spiritual journey, for your spiritual growth, all of these things, and be able to grow together in that way? Okay, so this is what we're going to be talking about, and I'm so excited to share my personal experience. I'm going to be talking about my personal journey in calling in and manifesting my amazing husband, and how that whole process unfolded for me. Okay, and it's like the most beautiful unfolding, most beautiful divine manifestation for me. And so I'm going to share it from that perspective of what I went through, and then also giving you guidance along the way of how you can take this process, right? Whether you are, you know, desiring to connect with someone on that level and call someone into your life, or maybe there's already someone in your life and you desire to up level your relationship and up level that connection that's already there, and just raise that frequency and raise what is possible between the two of you. Okay, this is applicable for both types of situations. Okay, so this is what we're going to be talking about today. Hello everyone who is joining. As you are joining in live, say hello. And if you're watching me on the recording, you can pop that in the comments. I believe it's going to be below the video. Pop it in the comments that you are watching me from the recording. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what is your current experience or situation with this, in terms of having that divine loving connection, that soul partner relationship. Where are you at on that journey? Let me know. Post that in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And so as I answer this specific question that came through from, like I said, a viewer, I'm also going to pop, like, checking in with the chat, and if there's any other questions around this topic or whatever, I'm going to answer those as well. Okay, I want this to be a like an interactive kind of thing. This is why I love these YouTube lives, and I love the interaction. I love to be able to interact with you and say hello to all of you, and be able to answer your questions along the way. Okay, hello Domenico, so good to see you. Hello Michael, yay Faith, so good to see you, and I'm so glad that you can see me and hear me. Perfect. I've got my rose quartz stones and crystal journeys, love, candle burning, lovers, 4 of wands, and 2 of cups, tarot cards, and burning rose incense. Yes, setting the energy for this discussion. Oh my gosh, that is so, so beautiful and so powerful. I love that so much. Hello, Dragon Ash from Sonoma County. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Brittany. Yay. And Deep D, welcome. I'm working on forgiving myself from settling for what I truly deserve. This is so powerful. And, it's one of those things when thinking about this, talking about this, right? Our interpersonal relationships, and especially as it relates to our life partner or that divine loving soul connection with someone else, it truly is one of those things where it's a core foundational part of our journey as a soul. You know what I mean? Like whatever your situation is, whatever your experience has been, whatever your experience is currently, it's such a fundamental part of our journeys as souls and our growth and healing as souls, right? And so this forgiveness piece that you talk about, Brittany, this is so key and so powerful because it's presenting itself to you in, obviously, in the specific way. But as you go through that healing journey, it's going to expand out into every area of your life. And so this is a key thing when we're talking about different foundational core aspects of our journeys, is that, when it comes to these things, they overflow into all areas of our life. So even though we're talking about it specifically in relation to, calling in your soul life partner or having this type of relationship or this experience, whatever the healing work is that we do around that, it is always going to have an impact and overflow into all areas of our life. Okay. So I love this, and it's so powerful. I'm so glad that you are working on that and recognizing that. That's the key here. Hello, Emma. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. So I want to read to you all this exact question, and shout out to the person who asked this question. Like I said, it was on one of my YouTube videos a few months ago. And I actually remember at the time I was like, this is perfect to, have this and to kind of have it as a video. I always like to build like a list of topics and things that you guys have questions about, or things that I can answer for you, especially as it relates to this journey of spiritual growth and awakening and healing, and how the angels support us all through this, right? So we're obviously going to relate this back to the angels and how we can call on the angelic divine realms to support us in healing, to support us in calling in our soul life partner, to support us in having this experience in our life. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. And so this question came from DJ Jackson Pickett, and basically saying many of us are single and trying our best to overcome anxiety about attracting a life partner that accepts us, right? Spiritual experiences included. And excuse the garbage truck that you may or may not hear right now in the background. But it's doing its thing and we're doing our thing. So, right, like this is a huge thing. Like, what if I don't find someone who actually truly accepts me for all of who I am? What if no one really gets this spiritual journey, gets this spiritual experience? What if no one really understands me and who I am, and like the depth of my connection with the angels or my connection with the universe? What if they think it's crazy or stupid or silly or blah, 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 right? Like, am I actually ever going to find someone who gets it and who can align with this energy, and where we are compatible, not just with the spiritual side of things, right, but just life in general? How do you call that person in, right? And so basically asking, like, what was my process with this? So I want to share that with you all today. Teaching through my personal experience, I'm going to outline 4 key things. Okay, there's going to be 4 steps or 4 key aspects to this process that I'm going to walk you through each one. And then as I walk you through, I'm going to share how that unfolded for me personally as well, so you can see kind of like, we all go through this and we all have these different types of experiences. And no matter where you're at right now on your journey, that you always have the power and the ability to step into that and to welcome that into your life, right? And like I said, it's regardless of whether or not you are currently in a relationship or not, like this is an opportunity for you to rise into that energy, to then be a match for that with whoever you're with in your life right now, or calling that person into your life. Okay, so this is what we're going to be talking about. Hello, Larissa. Welcome. Hello, Nadine. Thank you. You are amazing. Hello, Anne. Hello, Jason. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's talk about this. Okay. So the first step, and as you guys are continuing to join in, say hello in the chat, let me know. And as I go through this, if you have any specific questions or anything, that pops out to you, or anything that really kind of like, stands out to you in regards to what I'm talking about, post it in the comments, share your personal experiences. I'm going to be following along with the chat and just kind of checking in with all of you so that we can continue to have this live interaction. Okay. Hello, Salinas. You are so welcome. So excited. I'm so excited. I love doing these lives. So let's talk about the first thing, right? The first key thing, first key is understanding yourself and who you truly are. So post in the chat, let me know where you feel you're at in regards to that. Do you feel like you have a good foundational understanding of who you are, who you are on a soul level, your desires, your experiences, or does it feel like you're in this place of actually discovering that? Do you feel like you're discovering who you are? Or are you like, yeah, I know who I am, and I know who I am. I know who I am, right? Let me know where you are. And it's kind of like a scale, right? Like maybe do like a out of 10, like 10 out of 10, I know exactly who I am, or 7 out of 10, I'm in the way, I'm in the process, I'm growing, I'm expanding in it. Post it in the comments, let me know where you're at with that. But this is a really key thing, is understanding yourself and who you truly are. Because we cannot align with our soul life partner, right? Like the person who we are meant to be doing life with in our highest potential, if we ourselves are not currently in connection with who we are and who that version of ourselves is in that highest potential. Okay, does that make sense? So if I know myself and who I truly am, if I feel connected to my soul, if I feel connected to my divine energy, then I am connected to the potential of who I am, to the highest potential of who I am. And I continue to expand and grow in that way because I am connected to that aspect of me, to that version of me. I'm connected to it, right? And so if we can be connected in that way, then that means that whoever is meant to be in our life with us in that version of ourselves can actually come in because we are aligned to it. Okay, does that make sense? But the way that we align with that, the way that we even create alignment with the other person, is that we first have to create alignment within ourselves. And it goes beyond just, okay, do I know myself and who I am? Do I understand my soul, my desires, all of these things? It goes beyond that, because going deeper than that is there acceptance of who you are? Is there acceptance of your divine being? Is there self-love? And I truly believe that self-love, like I know that's a big thing that, is thrown around in the self-development world, right? Like self-love, 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 which is very important, but self-love stems from self-acceptance. Like self-acceptance is the foundation for self-love, is what I truly believe. We have to accept ourselves and who we truly are, accept our being, accept our likes and dislikes, and accept how we are, who we are, right? If you find yourself constantly judging yourself and criticizing yourself and saying like, oh my gosh, like you're so lazy, or you do this, or blah, 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 or this or that, blah, blah, whatever, then it's like, you're not accepting yourself, right? And self-acceptance and the energy of also expansion and becoming a better version of ourselves comes from self-acceptance as well, right? Because the way that we change and the way that we grow, the way that we heal, the way that we expand into the best version of ourselves comes from self-acceptance. I own who I am now, and I also desire to be more of who I truly am. I own who I am today, and I also know that there's more for me to grow into, right? We don't hate ourselves into change. We don't say, oh God, like you're not good enough for now. You are so worthless. You are so lazy. You are so this, this, and this. And then also have the intrinsic motivation to become a better version of ourselves, because we don't even feel worthy of being a better version of ourselves. So why would we even follow that path? Do you know what I mean? So self-acceptance is the root of it all. It's the foundation of this energy of truly accepting who we are so that we can then also grow and change and expand into more of who we are. And at the same time, it is the foundation of that self-love. And it is the foundation of aligning with someone who is going to accept you for who you are, right? Accept you for your quirkiness, accept you for everything that you do, who you are, who you be, like all of these things, right? It comes from first, we have to accept that within ourselves. And that is a huge, 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 huge part of this process. Okay. Let me just quickly catch up here and read the comments here. I see eights, I see six, I see people saying, I don't know myself, I'm discovering myself. Yes, yes. Sometimes the confidence fades. Yeah, and that's totally normal part of the process, right? And as you continue to, um, connect with more and more and more of yourself, that confidence begins to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So it's part of the process, right? And it's remembering that we are always a constant expansion and growth and evolution of ourselves. So that continues to be a place that we can grow and grow and grow and grow into. But in this moment right now, who you are right now, do you feel that sense of acceptance of yourself and knowing yourself in this moment, right? I'm trying, but stack card has been blocked. Cannot that sucker to open and flow. I'm trying too hard and missing something. So this is gonna support you so much. So in terms of opening up our heart, this is part of the process, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more at the end. But this is the place where we start. I'm gonna talk about what I did in this part of my personal journey for this first thing. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that in just a second. Let me see. I feel I have a clear idea of who I am. I can always use confidence in taking that self out in public because sometimes I feel unsure and fear I won't be understood. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Um, let's see. To realize ourselves, we need to first know who we are, knowing that self is primary. Yes, absolutely. I connect with myself every day, but I can't keep my alignment it up all day. Yeah, I hear you. And it's not about being perfect. This is the key thing is this connection to ourselves and who we are. We don't need to be perfect at it. It's just noticing when we do become disconnected or when we are a little bit, just feeling uncertain and just coming back, coming back, coming back. It's always about just coming back to ourselves, just like meditation. It's like, okay, my focus is on my breath, but if my mind starts to wander, I'm going to just bring myself back, and I just keep bringing myself back, right? I'm about a 9. I love that. So here's the thing that was going on for me. Yay, welcome everyone who is joining. Is that I was in this process, right, of really discovering myself and who I am, my spiritual journey, like this really conscious, like seeking and learning and growing. This started in about, I would say 2015-ish is when it started for me. And so I was in this process of, really learning and growing and meditating and learning about energy healing and all of these things. And I have a whole video about my journey. So I'm not going to go into all the details of my journey and what led me to this place. But just knowing that the spiritual journey did lead me into really understanding who I was. And in that process, so during that time in 2016, I was in a relationship, not the same one, not with my husband, but just, a different person. And what I began to recognize as I was going through my spiritual awakening, through my journey, through stepping into this work, I really stepped into doing this angelic healing work in 2017, and then really jumped into it full time. I was doing a corporate job. This was my little side hustle, so to speak, and stepped into this full time at the end of 2017. And so during this time, as I was really connecting to myself and understanding my soul and understanding my desires, what I came to realize is that I was actually very unhappy in this relationship. I was very feeling very constrained and feeling like I couldn't really be my true self, feeling that I was always constantly being judged, right? So with this person, he knew that as I was like uncovering these things about the angels, right? So one of the things is that it went from I'm not connecting like nothing about angels in my life to I remember specifically having that conversation, be like, hey, listen, like this is what I've been doing. I've been meditating, I've been doing this and this and this. And turns out I can channel angels. And turns out like this is what I'm going to be doing with my life. And so it was really um a conversation that I was really afraid to have because it was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what you're gonna say or what you're gonna think. And in general, I feel like it was just a thing where it was like, okay, like cool, like whatever. I don't really get what you're talking about, but sure. Like that was kind of the reaction. That was kind of it. Where, I continued on with growing my business and doing these things, and it was just more of like I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't really care almost in a way, and just like whatever, it was almost like that. So it did feel like there was a part of me that was like, this is my spiritual side, and then this is like the rest of me, right? And like I had to keep this a little bit contained, a little bit within, a little bit closed, a little bit like meh, like this is my stuff, right? And I could be myself in the online world, but it's like in real life, it was like maybe I have to contain it a little bit because I don't know what you think and blah blah blah, whatever, right? So through this journey of self acceptance and understanding who I am and understanding my true desires, and also just understanding what I wanted in a relationship and in another person, I came to realize how that person wasn't my person, right? That person was not my person, even though we'd been together for a really long time. And it was one of those things where it's just like you're just not my person, right? And it's a hard thing because when you're with someone for so long, you think like, well, we're together and like this is my person. We've been together for so long. So, we're just gonna do life together. And it was like, no, like that's not the case. And so I had to get really honest with myself. And it was a hard thing. It was a really hard realization because I remember specifically it was like I was starting to feel this kind of like disconnection, but then there was a big part of my mind that was like, but I don't want that to be true. Like I'm too afraid to go off on my own. I'm too afraid to be by myself. I'm too afraid. Like I've known this person for so long. Like maybe we're just comfortable and blah, blah, blah. And it was like directly, like I remember waking up and one morning and it was just so clear in my mind. And it was like, this is not this person is I'm not meant to be with this person. Like it just felt so clear in my mind. Like I just knew that I was not meant to be with this person. And also before that, so let me back up for a second. Before that, I like several months before that, I actually had received a channeled message from Archangel Michael where he was like, I forget the exact same thing, but it was something along the lines of, you are going to go on your separate paths. That's what he said. It was something along the lines of like, you two are going to go on your separate ways and your separate paths. And I remember when I received that message, I was like, what do you mean, Archangel Michael? We're not going on our separate paths. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is no, no, kind of like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you say that? And then I kind of like just brushed it off and I was like, maybe I channeled that wrong or whatever. Maybe that wasn't it. I kind of just like set it to the side. And then as things began, like continue to unfold, just in our journey and in our relationship, and I began to really like kind of question things, that clarity came through where it really came from within me, where I was like, oh, that's not my person. That was like right. That was actually New Year's Day of 2018. So January 1st, 2018, I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is not my person. I'm not meant to be here. I'm not meant to be in this relationship. So then it became the healing process of like letting that go and feeling a sense of connection with myself of like I've got to do this. Like it was so scary. It was so scary to think about stepping out on my own. It was so scary to think about, breaking up and being in just like what does that even mean for me to be on my own? Like I don't even know, right? So that was a big scary thing that I had to work through within myself, a lot of heart chakra healing, a lot of this trusting in myself, confidence in myself, and following what I felt called to do. Okay. So that was the first key thing here is having this understanding of who you truly are. And so whether or not you are in a relationship right now, what is most important, right? And especially if you're not, is that you are, I mean, it's important regardless. So, but it's important that you are taking the time and the practices to develop your spiritual connection, to develop this awareness of yourself and who you are and your desires, and most importantly, this acceptance of who you are, right? Like for me, it was like, this is who I am. I am a spiritual teacher. I am an angel channel. I am someone who is here to create this impact in the world, to guide others in this way, to talk about spirituality, to be my true self and be like, hey, Archangel Gabriel is coming forward in whatever way I desire and to be fully me, right? And so as I recognize that and as I began to connect with that energy and that aspect of myself, I began to truly see where I wasn't being that version of me and seeing that disconnect, right? So that was an important part for me to be able to truly own who I am and, disconnect from that energy where I wasn't being my true self and going off on my own to fully integrate into who I am so that I could then be that aligned version of me to then meet my actual soul life partner. Okay. So that was the first important thing here is that I had to that was an important part. Like I had to be me and fully acceptance of me and experience what it was like to be with me and to be me. Okay, does that make sense? Because a common thing that I see is that people will end relationships and it's like, okay, I got to find the next person, I got to find my person, right, without having that time to actually be with you and be with yourself and truly know yourself and who you are. And it's not, if that's been your situation in the past where you kind of like had this relationship and then you break up and then a short amount of time in this relationship, blah blah blah, that's okay, it's totally okay. But just knowing that when you give yourself the space to really be with you and who you are, it gives you that awareness and that deep connection, that deep integration with yourself to then be able to fully own yourself and who you are. So when you do meet someone, it's like, this is who I am. And it, if that bothers you, if you think that's crazy or that's weird or whatever, that's okay because I got me. You know what I mean? And then that is where we then can release the fear of, what if I don't find someone who accepts me? Or what if someone thinks that it's crazy or weird that I'm talking to angels or blah, 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 whatever, because you own it. You own it and you've been with you and who you are. And that's just the end of that. Okay. Does that make sense? Um, Let me see here. Oh, that's where I am now, developing a side of myself and keeping it hidden from the people close to me. Yes, yes, I totally hear you. Dan, thank you for sharing this. I've even had him throw my spirituality back at me in a negative light, and it really hurt my feelings. Yes, yes, I totally hear you. I totally hear you. And that's just like, that's not our person. Our person, our true soul life partner is not going to do that to us. You know what I mean? I had my spiritual life and experience. Yeah, I had my spiritual life and experiences from everyone too. Yeah, yep, makes sense. First time ever, I'm alone and I'm not rushing anything. I'm enjoying developing myself and learning to appreciate and love myself. I love that. Love that. I got me. Yes, exactly, exactly. So, okay, so that was the first thing. So number two, the second key here is then doing the things that light up your soul. Okay, so for the first time ever in my life, I'm like, is it the first time ever? Yeah, that was like the first time ever. After, ending that relationship and kind of just going off on my own, I felt so much freedom, right? From being in a place where I felt constantly kind of like trapped and judged and not being able, only being able to like be this much of myself instead of like fully me. I was like, whoa, I feel so free. I don't have to like, answer to anybody. Like I can do whatever I want. I don't have to ask for permission or this or that or blah, blah, whatever. It was like, I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free. And really practicing what it meant to be in this true expression of myself. So what did I do? For me, it was travel. Okay. I traveled so much in 2018. I went to Europe twice that year. Yeah, twice that year. I went in I think it was March, and then I went later in August, and then I was traveling around the US, and I just like lived so freely. And in made travel, and obviously during those times, like travel is a little bit more whatever restricted, but it's kind of like whatever it is for you that helps you to feel free and be in the true expression of yourself. Okay, the true expression of yourself, the true expression of who you are. What is that? Okay, what does that mean to you? What does that look like to you? Maybe it's going on different adventures, um, you know, around your city, or maybe it's bringing forward a expression of yourself through creativity, through artwork that maybe you were kind of holding back before. So allowing this free expression of yourself and who you are, and doing the things that truly light you up, and just going for that, right? I remember the first time that I was like, I'm gonna go out to a restaurant by myself, right? Like I'd never been out to eat by myself before. And so like actually, and it's not just like, a fast food place where you're just going and picking up the food and leaving or whatever. It's like going to an actual restaurant and I'm sitting at the table by myself. Like that was such a interesting and incredible and powerful experience for me, because that was a layer of like letting go of, on a deeper level of of fear of judgment, and like, what are other people going to think if they see me sitting at a restaurant by myself? Like that was a real thing that I had, and it was just like, I don't care. I mean, there was a part of me that kind of felt like a little icky about it, but I was like, I'm just going to do it because I really want to go eat food here, and I'm going to do it. So that freedom to do what I wanted, freedom to truly just show up in my expression, show up in who I am, show up in whatever way I desired to show up. Okay. So doing the things that light up your soul is a key part of this. And it also deepens the first thing that we talked about, which is understanding yourself, understanding who you truly are, right? That self acceptance of yourself. This allowed me to truly accept myself on a deeper level. Like if I want to go and eat food at this restaurant by myself, I'm going to go do that. And I'm just going to accept that that's what I desire, and I'm going to follow that and just be free in who I am, right? Be free in who I am. So, you know, another question for you guys to comment on in the chat box, or if you're watching this on the recording, you can comment below. But, what is the level of freedom that you experience right now in expressing yourself and doing the things that light you up? Do you find yourself that you do follow that? Or is there a part of you that's like, hold yourself back, or that's like, I don't know if I should do that, or if I can do that, or whatever? Like, do you allow yourself to be free in expressing yourself, in following your desires, in doing what lights you up? Okay, let me know. Post that in the chat. Third thing is then getting clear on what you desire in a partner. But I'm going to go deeper with this. It's not so much like, okay, I'm going to use a man as an example, obviously, but, if it's a woman for you, then that's a woman. Like, just use this in whatever way is applicable to you. But it's not so much like, okay, he has to have dark hair and this and blah, 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 right? Like, it's not so much that. It's more about, who do you desire to be with them, right? Who do you desire? What is the feelings that you want to feel with this person, right? So this is also really great when we're talking about, if you are in a relationship right now and you're kind of in a place where you're like, how can I up level this relationship? It's like, okay, well, how would you desire to feel around your partner, right? So this isn't a question that's applicable whether you have a partner or you don't, because you're getting clear on what you desire to experience with them when you're with them. Who do you desire to be with them? Do you know what I mean? And I heard this a while ago, but I really loved this saying in connection to, a partnership with someone or being with someone, is like, was this sentence, I guess you call it, this phrase, which is, I love who I am when I'm with you. I love who I am when I'm with you. And I remember hearing that and I was like, oh, I love that. That's so true, because I do love who I am around my husband, right? Like I love what he brings out in me. I love how I get to show up in my true self. I love that I get to be this version of me with him, right? That he brings that out in me, and that I can show up in that way for other people as well. Whereas that was not the case previously. And so this is one of the things where it's kind of like, what do you desire the energy and the feeling to be like? It's not so much of like, he has to have this kind of job or this kind of thing, or this is how he has to look like, blah, 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 right? It's not so much about that. It's about, how do you feel around them? What is the emotional experience in your connection to this person that you are calling in to your life? Okay, does that make sense? I get really excited about things, and I have been just going for it, playing the drums. Yes, pole dancing, boxing. Right now, I have rollerblades, and I'm looking into archery. Oh my gosh, Larissa, I love that so much for you. So much. That's so good. Yes, free, but looking for more ways since finding my ascension. That's amazing. And one of the things that you can do is ask ask the angels to support you, right? You can ask Archangel Michael, you can ask Archangel Gabriel. I see him coming forward as well. You can ask your higher self as well. What are more ways in which I can feel freedom and be free? I have a higher self guided meditation here on YouTube if you want to check that out. But that connection with our higher self is a constant that we can lean into to support ourselves in this process. Okay. Um, I'm just waiting for twin flame separation to be over. Yeah, and if you're in that place where there is like a separation that's happening right now, what you want to do is really focus on like the heart chakra healing and connecting with that aspect of you, with that energy, calling on Archangel Raphael to support you with that process in that healing. I remember when I was going through that separation process, I was constantly calling on Archangel Raphael and asking for that support in the heart chakra healing that that was necessary to happen. Okay. It's so exciting investing in interest. Yes, it really is. It really is. I love that. I want to do several retreats this year. That's perfect. That's amazing. So now that you know that, like I want to do retreats, then that the next step is okay, universe, angels, guide me to the perfect soul aligned retreats for me this year. Right. If you don't have any, exact like list or ideas of where you want to go or which retreats you want to go to. And then if you do, then it's kind of like, okay, this is where I desire to go. Please support me and help me and guide me to bring this into my reality, or to step into that, or whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? But this is how we follow the guidance of the divine to support us, is asking these different things along the way. You know that, okay, freedom and expression of who I am, getting clear on who I desire to be my partner, like what that feeling is. And it's one of those things where I remember feeling nudged by Archangel Ariel, being like, get clear on that, focus on that, write that down. Even though I wasn't really in a place where I was like, okay, I really want to like think about who, calling in my life partner. But it was like, I remember being nudged by the universe, being like, get clear on it, because that's going to be important for this next level of alignment, basically, right? I was manifesting him as through this process without even realizing it. I was setting up my energy, setting up myself in a way to be perfectly aligned with him. So it's one of those things where then getting clear on what you desire in a partner, and specifically that feeling, that connection with them, who you are around them, is going to be really important. And you can do that through journaling. You can do that through meditation. You can, whatever way works best for you, but it's getting clear on that. And then sometimes we can have experiences, whether we watch a movie, whether we watch our friends and their relationships or whatever, and see things. Like I remember I would see couples like on Instagram or whatever, like people that I was following, that I really loved what I saw. Like I saw their relationship, or how, how it felt between them. And I was like, that's amazing. Like that's what I want. That's the kind of thing that I want, but in my, whatever unique way it shows up for me. But that's the feeling, right? So those are things that you can do as kind of like seeing examples around you and being like, either like that's not what I want, or this is what I want, right? And the things that you realize that you do not want always help to redirect your focus to the things that you do truly want, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm active in my community as part of a theater group. I love that. I have my own counseling practice where being a mental health counselor is who I am, not just how I make my living. So I've made my way. I love, love, love that. That's so, so great. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So, so here's the crazy thing, and I'm trying to think of one, like at what point to share this with you guys, because the crazy thing about this number 3 that I'm sharing about right now, of who you desire to be with this person, is that I had written that out right in my journal, and the way that I wrote it was like in present tense. So I was writing it as if it was currently happening, right? So I would write stuff like, I am so grateful for, my soul partner being here, and how much we love each other, and how much we appreciate each other, and how connected we are, and how supportive he is. He just really supports me and appreciates me for who I am and the work that I do and blah blah blah. And his heart is so open and genuine and kind and this and this and this and that, right? Like I was writing it as if it was already a thing, as if it was already a reality, right? I had that written in my journal. Okay. And then what ended up happening, like we're gonna fast forward now. Like I had that written out, and we're gonna fast forward to it was at some point in 2020, because I at this point I was already pregnant. Like it was, I think, the summer, so I was like pretty pregnant already. And I was clearing stuff out in one of our bedrooms, and I had come across this box of journals, old journals, right? And I somehow flipped, like, of course it was the universe guiding me. Like I found the journal from that time when I was single and when I was manifesting him and all these things. And I had somehow flipped open to around the time frame of like when I knew that I was writing about him. And so I start reading, right? Because I was like, I forgot what I had actually written, right? I wasn't like, you know, whatever. I looked at this and I started reading it, and I was like, I literally started crying because I like, it was word for word who he is. It was word for word the things, how we feel about each other, how we experience our life together, how he makes me feel, who he is, like all of these different things. And I was like, oh my God, I literally manifested him and called him into my life through this process, through being open, through the healing work that I'd done, through getting really clear in who I was. And so, and I'm going to share with you a little, the next thing is that in the fourth step, I'll share how the interaction went down when we actually first met each other. But like, then I go to him and I read it to him. I'm like, oh my God, like I found this journal entry, and this is what I wrote. And I was like crying. I was crying when I read it to him, and he was like, and he had tears in his eyes. I was like, oh my God, like that's amazing. Because he could see, he's like, yeah, that's like literally who I am. And I was like, yes, this is who you are. Like, and it was amazing. And I remember that specific journal entry I had written maybe like a month before I actually met him, which was so like mind blowing to me because I didn't realize it. Like I mean, I knew it because when I met him, I just knew, but also I had forgotten that specific journal entry, and then when I wrote that, or when I reread that, I was like, "Oh my God!" Like I was in tears, and it was just the most beautiful thing, and just like the most heart opening thing. So like really, our intention, our focus, paired up with, right? Like this is in combination with the things that we have talked about already, right? Self acceptance, self love, like being free in who you are, and the self expression of who you are. That is most important to then be able to align with the person who is going to meet you at that level, right? Meet you in your self acceptance and who you are, and accept you for who you are, right? And I'm gonna talk about the interaction when we first met as well. But it's just like just seeing that, I was like, oh my God, like this is mind blowing. It was amazing. It was so amazing. Okay. Let me see. Let me just catch up on comments here, and then we're going to talk about number 4, the fourth key thing. Okay. I have felt my divine life partner through heart telepathy for 3 years now, and it continues to grow stronger. What angel would be best for me to ask for support in patience and contentment? Oh, I love that so much. And I see both Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Raphael for you, Mildred, in relation to that. Okay. And in that place of like, what, know that it's like in anticipation, but like excited anticipation, right? Knowing like, oh my gosh, like that divine life partner is on their way to me, and I know, and I'm so excited, and it feels so good and so powerful. And I'm just so excited for the universe to surprise me. I'm so excited for the universe to surprise me, and for this, when this person will come in to surprise me. I'm just so excited, right? So that's the thing. So Gabriel and Raphael to help you with that. Okay. I think that union in the 3D may be held off until both counterparts are truly in the energy of self-love. Yes, and that is very true, because because you're only going to be aligned with the person who is also a reflection of that. So the most amazing, interesting thing is that, talking with my husband, like his unfolding, like before we had met each other, he was literally in the same place as me in terms of like just living, he was like living at the beach and doing his own thing and really focusing on the self-development and self-love aspect and all of these things, just living his life, right? In the self-acceptance of who he is. And so then it was like when we met each other, it was like so perfectly divinely timed, because the funny thing is that we had met each other like a year previous to like our actual meeting, like when we actually connected. But it was like we'd known each other, we had met each other a year before that, but it was obviously not the divine timing. Like we like didn't really even interact. We like knew, but like whatever. Like it wasn't even a interaction really, because the universe knew it wasn't the divine timing. Like I still had healing to do, he still had healing to do. We still had to really be in this self-acceptance and self-expression of who we are within our own life to then be able to come together, in the way that we did. So it wasn't until a year later that it actually unfolded into what it is today. So, so I totally agree with that, it's trusting in the divine timing of what's happening for each person. Yes, I've been doing a lot of heart healing and energy healing and been having a connection with Archangel Haniel. I love that. That's so good. I have fully healed from cutting cords over a connection that was a twin flame situation. I learned my lessons and it was so hard. Do you believe in higher level soulmates beyond twin flames? Yes, I absolutely do. Absolutely. Because I personally feel like there is a big misconception about twin flames, where twin flames is kind of like, the misconception is that, oh, twin flames, like, this is like the most amazing love and blah, blah, blah. But that's not always necessarily true, And so it's not even so much about like, I want to manifest my twin flame. It's like, I want to manifest my higher level soulmate, exactly how you worded that. I want to manifest the soul life partner of like who I'm meant to do life with, who is that counterpart for me, who is, we support each other. And the way that I see it and the way that my husband and I talk about it, it's like, we are living our personal experience and journey, right? We have our personal journeys and we have our combined journey together. And what we're doing separately in our journeys supports the combined one, and the combined one supports our individual ones as well, right? So we recognize each other as individuals, like I'm following my life path, he's following his life path. We're doing these things. And at the same time, we have our joint life path, if that makes sense, and so it's meant to be like a supportive, loving, connective relationship that overflows into each other, rather than like, I got to give up my dreams or my desires or this to support you, or the vice versa, or blah blah blah. Like there's no sacrifice that's necessary in that regard. You know what I mean? We all get to thrive. We all get to experience that support and that love and that connection. Um, Also, the story is so beautiful. Yes, thank you guys. I've been open to finding someone for a while. Recognize I would like him to be kind, interested in similar things, has my back, and knows I have his. Mutual respect. I'm just scared of being hurt, and that's a huge one. That's a huge thing. Faith is the fear, and it's normal. That's normal, first of all, and that's also an important aspect of the healing, right? Of releasing any blocks to welcome that in, right? Because that's kind of one of these other steps, is that, okay, I'm open and I know what I desire and who I desire and all these things, but am I actually allowing that connection to come in? Am I allowing it to come in? Or is there a part of me that's like, I know what I want, but also I'm going to block this. I know what I want, but like I'm going to put up a shield because I'm afraid, right? It's like, I know what I desire and I'm open to that receiving. That's a huge, huge thing. So yeah, so I totally hear you. And that's an important part of this. Okay. You are welcome, Mildred. What if I just want to be alone but find my soul friends? That's perfect. That's beautiful, Larissa. I love that. And it's one of those things where you'll know, like there's no rush. You know what I mean? There's no rush. There's no rush in, okay, we got to find this, our partner, and this and this and this. It's like what you desire right now. I want to find my soul friends. Use this in relation to that. Use this in relation to your soul friends, because at the end of the day, we're talking like this can be interchangeable through, friendships or, a partner, So yes, you can use this in relation to that. Please tell us how it unfolded. Yeah, you're so welcome, Chelsea. So yeah, so let me share with you how it all unfolded. So like I said to you, we like had come across each other, and the way that we actually met was through the gym that we were going to. Okay. The gym that we were going to. which is like a semi-private training gym. It's not like a gym where it's like you just go and use the machine. It was more of a gym where you come and do a class. You know what I mean? It was one of those types of gyms. And so through that, like we had both been going to that gym, and then I had gone away from the gym for quite a while. So it was through the gym that we kind of like had known or like seen, but we never really interacted that much. So that was like the thing where it's like I knew I saw you, I maybe briefly interacted, but didn't really talk. And then boom, like a year went by, right? And so then when we then first started talking, I'm just trying to think of the unfolding. So it was a Halloween party that we first kind of like actually talked again, and he introduced himself to me, and he was like, "Hi, I'm Jason," and I was like, "Hey, I'm Christina," and then whatever, and then from there we kind of started to talk more and started to kind of have an interaction when we see each other at the gym. And then there was a friendsgiving get together that was happening with different people from that gym. And so that was when we actually like talked and started to have a conversation, and I started to share with him. Like it was the most amazing thing, because it was basically this person where we were at someone's house, and they have this like rooftop deck. And so we were both at the rooftop, there was other people around, everyone's kind of hanging out, eating food, blah blah blah. And it's really easy to like get up on the roof, actually the actual roof over there. So we both we somehow had, because we were now kind of talking because of the Halloween interaction, we were just like, hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah. Like we still didn't really know each other that well at all, but we were just like, hey, we're here together at the party. Let's talk, you know. And so we were like eating our food and talking and chatting, and then we somehow ended up sitting on the roof together. And, I'm telling him my story of just like, I'm from Canada and this and that and like whatever, just sharing about me and that I have my own business. I'm an entrepreneur, this and that. He's asking questions. And I tell him, I'm like, because, previous to this, I was like, whoever I end up meeting, blah, 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 I'm just going to be straight up. Like, I'm going to tell you that I channel angels and I'm a spiritual teacher. This is what I do, because I'm not going in circles around like, "Nah," whatever. I'm just like, I'm just going to be straight up with anyone. Like, this is what I do. Right. So that I had already decided that within myself, and was okay within myself of like, if someone doesn't get it, then that they don't get it. And I just know that maybe they're just not my person. Right. So, so I tell him, I'm like, I'm a spiritual teacher and I talk about angels and the universe and this and that, and I kind of like explain that. He's like, oh wow, like that's really cool. And just kind of in that kind of like open to that, right? And so then like later on that night, like we were talking and things like that, and he asks me, he's like, so do you like, what angel do you see around me or something like that? He asked something along those lines, like what angel? And I was like, Archangel Gabriel. Immediately like fell. I was like, Archangel Gabriel is with you and blah blah blah. Whatever. So that already I set the tone. I was like, listen, like this is what I do, and this is just what you need to know. Like this is who I am, right? Like take it or leave it. This is who I am. And then after that, we were hanging out more and blah blah blah. And one time we were kind of like working together at my place. We were just working together. And so then I had a call. So I go into my office to go have my call, and he's out in the living room doing his work. But I'm having a call with a client, and so he obviously can like hear a little bit of like what I'm saying to this person. And this is the thing that he said to me afterwards, like after the fact, obviously after we knew that we were each other's person and blah blah blah. But he said to me, he's like, yeah, I remember that time when I like kind of heard you talk like on a client call, and I heard the things that you were saying, because he was like, I to be honest, like I didn't really know exactly what that meant, like angels, like this, that. Like I thought you were like a tarot card reader or something like that. He's like, I didn't really know. I just kind of was like, cool, like whatever, you seem like a really great person. I don't know. And then he's like, and then when I heard you on your client call and the way that you were coaching and the way that you were speaking about becoming, the better version of you and healing and growth, and how you tie it all together with that, the angels as a tool, and this, he's like, that was really when I was like, whoa, like I get it. And this is so cool. This is so amazing. And then that's like, that's where it all unfolded from there. It was like I didn't have to change myself for him to accept who I am, right? Like, especially we're talking about this whole conversation in relation to, especially as it relates to bringing someone into like attracting a life partner who accepts you in all of who you are, and especially with your spiritual experiences. So for me, it was like I knew that I did not have to change who I was in order for someone to accept me and love me. And it was like, I was clear about that within myself. And so I was clear within me that if this person didn't fully get it or was like not on board with it or whatever, that was okay. Like I was like, am I okay with that? Yes, I'm okay with that. So that's good. Like as when you can feel this okayness within yourself, then it's like you give yourself full permission. You give yourself full permission to be yourself. And that is then when you're going to call in the mirror of like, I want you to be your true self. I want you to be all of who you are, right? From the other person. And you mirror that back to them. I want you to be all of who you are, right? So it's one of those things where, does my husband channel the angels? No. Does he like do this deep spiritual work the way that I do it? Not specifically. But he is in that space of like, I understand personal development. I understand healing. I understand growth. I understand how like you're doing it in this way. And that's all I've ever really wanted is someone who would just who gets that. Like to me, it was never something that like I need to meet someone who channels the angels as well, or who connects with them in the way that I do, or blah blah blah. Like that didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was that someone that my partner would be someone who fully accepts that and who I can be myself with them, right? So like I tell them all the time the different programs that I'm doing or the things that come through, or since then we've had so many different experiences where like I had a dream or where Archangel Ariel came forward for him, and I told him, I was like, hey, like Archangel Ariel's coming forward and this and this and this, so like maybe you can try this and this, right? Like I'll give him suggestions and he's always open to it. And to me it's like that's the most important thing. And so when we can trust in the divine timing, right? Because obviously, like if I was trying to force something that year previous when we first kind of interacted, like it probably would not have unfolded this way, right? But the fact that I just kept living my life, I kept showing up for myself, I kept following this energy of like freedom and true self expression and who I am, and like all of these things, the divine timing unfolded in such a perfect way that we were both in the place where we needed to be in order to fully be together. Do you know what I mean? In the highest version of ourselves and to continue to grow from there together. Okay. Does that make sense? So that is the fourth thing, is that we have to trust in the divine timing. And it's one of those things where I remember like observing my mind being like, well, how are you going to meet someone? Like all you're doing is going to the gym, basically, right? Like you're not going to meet someone at the gym. That was what was going on in my mind. And it's like, I don't really like, do I want to do dating apps? Like, because I remember a friend of mine was like, well, are you going to maybe try dating apps? And I was like, no, that doesn't really resonate with me. I don't really want to. And if you resonates with you, by all means, like it's not anything against them, but just for me personally, I was like, I'm not really into that. I don't really want to do that. I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing my thing and whatever. Like, I don't know. I was thinking, should I try and do meetups, right? Like in the meetup.com or whatever, and just connect with people. Like I was looking at spiritual groups, right? Like, okay, if I'm going to try and meet someone who embraces this life, then maybe I'm going to find him through spiritual meetup groups or whatever, right? And I actually never went to one of those meetups, but I was looking at them and blah, 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 whatever. But it was like, it just proves and just shows that that person will come into your life by you just living your life. That person will come into your life by you just living your life. So I just kept following and doing the thing that I just truly wanted to do rather than trying to force it and trying to like, well, I should do the spiritual meetup group because blah, blah, blah. It was like, do I actually truly want that or no? Do I truly want to do this or no? Right. So that was the key thing here. And then that is how all of this came together. So this is the process of calling in your soul life partner and creating space for that frequency and for the person to come meet you at that frequency. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, let me see. Let me catch up on your guys' comments. And if you have any questions, let me know. Anything about what I just shared. And the other thing that I want to share with you guys, okay, real quick, I'm going to talk briefly mention this and I'm going to go into more details. But on Monday's Valentine's Day, and in honor of that, I felt so divinely led and guided to do a full workshop to go deeper into this. Okay, this workshop is called Soul Fulfilling Love. And so we're going to go deeper into all of this that I'm talking about as it relates to the healing, right? We're going to be doing the healing the blocks, right? Like if there's a fear of being hurt or fear of the person leaving or fear of not feeling fully accepted or whatever, heal the blocks that are stopping you from receiving that love into your life, right? Understanding what is blocking you, understanding where maybe there's healing, if there's a separation that's happening, supporting healing of your heart chakra to then be able to follow these next steps. We're going to be talking about energetic alignment, how to bring yourself energetically into alignment with your soul life partner, with that divine love within yourself, within your life, with who you truly are. Okay, we're going to be talking about manifestation practice and calling in those divine soul connection, that divine soul connection or connections, whatever, into your life. Okay, so this is a about 2-hour workshop. We're going to be teaching, we're going to be doing healing. I'm going to give you practices like journaling prompts, different things like actual things that you can take with you and be like, okay, this is these are the steps, right? And giving you that kind of more practical stuff in that way. And then doing healing. So we're going to be doing channeled healing energy work to support you. I'm going to be talking about angels. And then there's also going to be space for Q&A and to give you, personalized guidance through this process and whatever your situation is. So that is happening on Monday. It's going to be over Zoom. It's going to be recorded as well in case you can't make it live. It's going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern time. And what's the other thing? And it's $44 is the to join the workshop. Okay, and you get access to the recording. So I'm going to drop the link for that in the comments in a little bit. I just want to read your guys' comments first, and then if you have any questions about the workshop, you can let me know as well. But that's happening on Monday, and I would absolutely love to have you if you want to go deeper in this work, in this process, in the healing, in the growth, in the alignment. Okay. Let's see. How did you call in your soul life partner? How do you know when you really ready? So this is part of the thing. It's kind of like you are really ready when, as you are doing these 4 things that I shared with you, right? Like the things that I talked about in the first, second, and third steps, and then fourth one is just living your life, right? That's when you know that you're ready because you're just living your life and you've created that foundation within yourself. You've created that trust within yourself. You're living in that freedom of this expression of who you are, and you're just doing life. Do you know what I mean? And so that is the process of knowing and then trusting and just continuing to enjoy life. Because if we say to ourselves, I can only be truly happy, or I'm only going to truly enjoy life once that person is here, then you are creating a misaligned connection because now you are placing that joy, that love, that validation in that, in connections on that other person, rather than experiencing it within yourself first, and then the other person just comes in and they just match you at that level. Do you know what I mean? That's the key thing to understand here, that someone else, your partner, your soul life partner who you're calling in, isn't meant to fix something for you, isn't meant to fill a void. It's someone who's there who is meant to actually just enhance your life. They're here to enhance your life and your experiences, right? It's so much fun to be able to do life together. And also life before meeting him was also really great too. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. It's even more amazing now, but it was also really great before, so that's what you want to kind of understand and be in this place where you're just yeah, you know what? I just love my life. I love my life with me and who I am and what I'm doing now. And when that right person comes, they're just going to enhance and make it even more, right? That's the energy of abundance too. It's not asking for that person from a place of lack. It's I love this so much and more, right? That is that energy. So I hope that makes sense. I so love your story and how you met your husband. You give me hope. Oh, I love that so much. Domenico. Yay, 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 yay. Ooh, I just got the message to follow your lead and don't hide who I am when I meet new people. Yes, Larissa. Yes, 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 yes. Hello from Iceland. Welcome. Love your story. Oh, thank you. That is so beautiful. You guys are awesome. You pretty much just described where I know I'm heading and what I'm looking for in a guy. Yes, that all makes complete sense. Thank you for reminding me to always stand by who I am. You are so, so welcome, Chelsea. You are so welcome. Learning to be yourself is magic, and when you see that in someone else, it's incredible. Yes, I love that. Hello, Josh. I want to know if there is a special invocation to summon Herschel Angel Alexandra. I need her protection against the demons. So I have a YouTube video about Alexandra. So I would follow that video. There's nothing special in terms of like a special specific type of invocation. It's just Herschel Angel Alexandra, please come forward and please support me kind of thing. It's the same, pretty much similar as with any other angels. So, but I have that video about her if you want to go check it out. Okay. I signed up and I'm looking forward to it. Yes, Faith, I'm so excited. Asking if there is an angel I should be working with to resolve my fear of being hurt. So I feel Archangel Michael coming forward very strongly for you, Faith. And then also we're going to go deeper into that in the workshop. So I've totally got you in relation to that. But for now, in this in-between time, work with Archangel Michael. I see him as the one who's coming forward specifically for that, for you, Faith. And then, like I said, we're going to talk more about that inside the workshop. A heart plus smiles miraculous. Yes. About 3 years since separation, I am in the space you described. No apps for me, and doubt I will find someone the places I go. I dream of my kind of words still. It kind of sucks. So that is what you want to shift, right? Is the trust that the places that you go, the things that you're doing by just living your life, that person is going to be there, right? So these are exactly the things that we're going to be talking about, is how do we clear these doubts? How do we clear these fears? How do we clear these things that actually hold us back from truly allowing it to come in? Because if we are holding these walls up of the doubt, of the fear, of whatever, then they could walk by us and our walls are up. And so then it's like, we want to open it up. We want to open up those walls, right? So I'm going to post the link for the workshop right now in the comments. So if you are interested in joining, you guys can join me. It's right there. Like I said, it's only $44 to join, and you get lifetime access. You get the recording. You can't join me live. It's going to be over Zoom as well. So it's going to be just as interactive, and being able to support you personally with whatever it is that you need, whatever you're going through, to be able to support you in truly opening up and aligning to soul-fulfilling love. Okay, soul-fulfilling love. Just love that title so much. That's what I channeled, and it's just going to be so much fun. I pray for my twin and will work with him, but I don't feel I need a romantic relationship to get our mission done. Yeah, and it's one of those things too where it's understanding what you truly desire in that moment. You know what I mean? And also understanding that, yeah, like with the twin flame, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's a romantic relationship as well. But if you desire a soul life partner, that's a separate thing from twin flame stuff. Didn't know you were from Canada. Yes, from Ottawa specifically, but now living in California. Hello from the UK. I have left a very bad relationship that has really damaged my confidence, and I would love to know how I can heal from this so that I can achieve love. I can receive love in the future. Yes. Okay. So Jojo. So Archangel Jophiel is the one who's coming forward for you specifically. Okay. And the thing that really is coming forward is this connection with inner child healing and connection with yourself, and working with Archangel Jophiel. It's almost like she's coming forward for you as like a mother nurturing type of energy, right? To help you. Like when we experience, this like hurt in these wounds, right? Like you mentioned, really damaged my confidence. It's like we've got to be nurtured and taken care of right now. So Archangel Jophiel is coming forward to support you with that nurturing, caring energy to help restore that within yourself. The other thing that I hear is patience and trust in the process. Like, don't try to rush the process. Don't try to rush, because so that's not like, got to rush through this so that I don't miss my the love that I meant for. It's all trusting in this divine timing. So the patience and trust in yourself is going to be key in this. Okay, so let's see. I'm from Ghana. Please, can you help me with your email? So if you want to send through my contact form on my website, then from there we can chat. But I don't usually give out emails through the live social medias. But you can always contact me through my contact form. Okay. What angel works with healing, or is a specific angel for what phase you are in your life? So that's a really great question, Morai, because it really is specific to the person, right? So all of the angels bring healing on some level. And if we're talking about general healing, heart chakra healing, a lot of the times Archangel Raphael is the one who comes forward. But then there's also other angels who may step in, and it's for whatever, like, the resonant energy for that person. So the great example right here is what I was just saying to Jojo, right? Archangel Jophiel is the one who's coming forward. And even though you might read the comment and be like, well, typically maybe Archangel Raphael is the traditional one that you might think of, but it's trusting that whoever the angel is who you need specifically for your situation, they will be the ones who come, like, trusting in who comes forward. So that's the power of like, just trusting in your intuition, trusting who you're drawn to, working in ways like with the workshop where I'm going to be giving specific guidance to everyone with the situation. You know what I mean? So it's really something about trusting in who you're drawn to, or which angels kind of come up into your awareness. Okay, let's see. Thank you. I'll connect with Archangel Michael. You are welcome. Love your joy when you light up as you share finding your husband. Thanks for sharing your story. I agree with the earlier comment. It's inspiring. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know, and I realized that I've never really shared, I don't think, the story, at least like online. Which just is, it's always one of those things where with my personal experiences, my journey, I just trust in the divine timing of when it comes forward. And I was really excited to be able, that this was an inspiration that came through, that that question was asked of me, first of all, in one of my YouTube videos, to then it be like spark this conversation and spark the inspiration for this message and for the workshop that's coming up, because at the end of the day, this is a core key aspect of our individual journeys. And so to be able to support you all on your path of creating that alignment, creating that connection, it's, in whatever way. I talk about it all the time as our purpose as healers. I talk about it in business. I talk about it in many different ways. And this relationship aspect, this soul life partner aspect, is also an important part of our life. So, it's time. It was time to talk about this. I'm really glad to be able to, follow the guidance and just and come on here and be able to share with you all. Okay. I recently had a breakup with someone I thought had all the qualities you spoke about. Should I try and work on the relationship? That's a really good question. And it's one of those things where we can't really, what we don't want to do is be in a situation where we're like, okay, what do you need from me? Like, how can I change myself? What do I need to do to match you, or to be, for you to want to be together, or blah, 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 whatever, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So what I would say is that the work for you is going to be to do your healing and inner work, to see who you were in that relationship, right? Who you were in that connection with someone, and to see like what comes up for you, right? Where were you maybe giving your power away, or where were you maybe not being the full truth and expression of yourself, and seeing what that was in relation to you. Do you know what I mean? And then if it's kind of like, well, it seemed like everything was really great and perfect and all the qualities, right? Like you said there, and it's kind of like, I don't really see what happened. Then it's also one of one of those things where you have to trust that for whatever reason that person had to step away, whether they had to work on themselves, whether it was, whatever, because the divine is always working around us as well, right? So if there is a breakup with someone who we think had all the qualities, we have to trust in that process, in how it's unfolding, especially because it's like an interpersonal relationship. You can't control what else someone else does or what they do or whatever. So it's one of those things where we the most important thing for us is to follow our path, to live our life, to nurture ourselves, and to trust that in that space that we create, if that person is meant to be our person and we just had to kind of separate from moment to then come back together, then you trust that they will come back. You know what I mean? But you don't focus on it in the sense of like, okay, that person. It's, I'm going to create space for myself. I'm going to do my healing work. I'm going to show up for me. I'm going to do all these things. And then whoever's meant to come into that space, into that frequency that I then hold in that space, whether it's them or not, it doesn't matter, because now you've created that energetic alignment for that perfect person to come in for you. And when that happens, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like this is my person. You know what I mean? Okay. You are welcome, Jojo. Okay, so my private sessions are 725. Which angel is best for healing, cleansing if harm, evil was done to us? So Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron would be the best ones to call in that situation. I'm currently married, but don't feel he is my soul life partner. I feel he is just the person I should have children with. I hope to meet my soul partner one day. So, and see, this is the thing is that as you continue to follow these steps, the things will naturally unfold to align you with that person. Do you know what I mean? It'll align you with that person. So follow these steps for you and trust in the unfolding of who falls away, who comes in, who steps up with you. You know what I mean? Like that's the process that you want to follow. Okay. This live was great timing and very knowledgeable. Yeah, you're welcome. Is it a specific angel coming up for me when it comes to healing childhood and relationship trauma? So when it comes to childhood, and I see Archangel Raphael as the one who's coming forward. So in this situation, it's like, yeah, Archangel Raphael is the one who's coming in. So that's what it is. Okay. So that is this live calling in your soul life partner. So if you're watching me on the recording and you have any questions or anything you want to share, please feel free to post it in the comments. I'm also going to have the link. I think you can see the live chat from the recording, but in case you cannot, I'm going to have the link for the Soul Fulfilling Love workshop available in the description below this video. I'm also going to pin it as a comment in like the regular comment section. So if you want to join me on February 14th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, for this live 2-hour workshop on going deeper with this, going deeper in the healing, going deeper in your alignment, going deeper in your connection. You're going to have lifetime access to this workshop. So whatever aspect you are in right now, we'll be working on that. And then when you're ready for the next thing and revisit the manifestation practices, revisit all of the things, we can, you can do that through this workshop. Okay. So it's going to be so powerful, so amazing. I'm so excited. It's $44 to join for the Soul Fulfilling Love workshop. And like I said, the link is in the chat right now. I'm going to post it in the description and in the pinned comment. So come join us. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. And if you are joining me, let me know by posting it in the comments. Yes, thank you, Joshua. I see you, Joshua. You are there. I see you. Thank you. Okay, so that is it for today's video. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for joining me live. This was so much fun. Stay tuned. We're gonna have more live videos to come. Probably gonna be about once a month or something, I'm thinking. So make sure that you're following this channel. Okay, have notifications turned on. Thumbs up for this video if you enjoyed it. Share this video if you know anyone who needs to hear this message. And as always, I'm sending you all so much love and angel blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a beautiful weekend. I hope to see you on Monday, on February 14th for the workshop. And otherwise, if not, I will see you in my future videos. I love you all. You are so welcome. I'm so glad this was helpful for you guys. You are so, so welcome. And I'll see you soon. Bye.